Scorpio, to Virtual Tarot and to your October forecast. I'm Ava.
And I am Trudy. And this is the month of the Oracle.
We are, it's more than the month. We are the oracles.
Oh, sorry.
Yes. We are, we've decided that the theme of the Delphi, which is the Temple of Delphi, is a beautiful theme for us to explore as oracles, as modern day, current oracles, divination experts,
Right.
let's just say.
Yeah.
And it's a long tradition. The oracles were older women, as we are, and there were always two of them. And for 9 days out of the year, they would march up to the Temple of Delphi, and they being all the dignitaries and kings and queens and military people, to ask for their counsel as to how to proceed with state business. And so...
Also, emotional business.
And emotional
Love
business.
Relationships.
Yes, so a gamut of
Yes.
interesting topics they were.
Exactly.
But only for 9 days a year, which
Yes.
was so interesting,
Yeah.
I think.
Yes. And there was a lot that went on beforehand.
Well, yes.
But you do not have to sacrifice a goat.
No,
Right?
nor do you have to climb that hill.
Right.
You just have to tune in.
So here we are
Yes, isn't it beautiful?
in Delphi.
In Delphi.
So we'll be reading for you for the month of October.
Yes.
But before we do,
We do a recap.
yes. So we're going to talk a little bit about last month. We did a hangout last month, and
Out of necessity.
and we went into sort of this. It was a minor kind of month. In the month, well, we're in the month of September right now.
Right now,
It was
yes.
It was a bit minor, but let's talk about it. Okay, so in the first position we had, in the position of environment, we had the Four of Wands reversed.
Yes.
Interestingly enough, this card can point to a lot of things, including plumbing problems. It can even mean that you're feeling a little unwelcome, perhaps, and September is a time where people go back to school. So that could have been going on for you. Also trying to finish something up, to sort of put roots down. That seemed to be coming up as well.
Well, yes, and there's something about the home, because this is concerning property in the home, and not feeling as if that home is full. So it's often refers to the empty nest syndrome.
That's right.
Or just a feeling of vacancy in the home. Something is gone from it, and you feel this sense of, also from the heart, consequently, a sense that you're missing something from the heart as well. And it is, though, you see, in my opinion, the Four of Wands is such a beautiful and positive card that even in the reverse, it's really not that spectacular a negative influence. You might feel there are things going a bit awry within the home front, but it's not a dire situation.
And it can also point to just not feeling at home.
Yes.
It can point to looking for a new home.
Or problems with your home.
Trying to settle down.
Right.
Yeah.
Dealing with issues about the home, mortgages, dealing with the property matters. Sometimes if you're looking for real estate, you might find it difficult to make that perfect find.
Right.
Or to sell your real property.
Right.
If you're selling it.
The next card that we had, and I'm going to bring this up because I think it has a lot to do with that four, was the Ace of Wands reversed, which the Ace of Wands reversed is kind of this lack of passion this lack of ability to get your chutzpah going. And we had said that perhaps that challenge position had something to do with if you need to move, you maybe can't quite get the energy up or going.
Well, Ace of Wands.
I have
Wands
no
is,
energy.
it's perfectly.
I know this.
You're suffering from the Ace of Wands reverse.
Yeah, lack of energy. That's why I'm
That's it.
drinking
That's
caffeine.
it. So it's all about energy. It's all about visioning. It's about imagination, inspiration. And when it's reversed, it's obvious that you feel drained of all of that. Your imagination, you feel as if you're not being inspired. You're even one's sexuality is affected because it often refers to one's sexuality at a kind of a low ebb.
Right.
Sexually, imaginatively, and just in general physical energy.
But in a way, it's not always a terrible card because sometimes you shouldn't get excited
Sometimes.
about certain situations, and maybe somebody around you is excited about something and you're not as excited as they are, because we have that 4 that's reversed. So there's something going on in the month of September that has you feeling a little bit
Well, there is that.
less than excited about.
But then I agree with you. That's interesting because it could also reference the fact that you don't want to.
You don't want to. Yeah.
You don't want to do something.
Right.
And so your challenge is to deal with that situation in which you don't want to
Yeah, it's
lend
like
your energy into.
Thumb up, thumb down.
Yeah,
that they
so
used
maybe
to
somebody's
do.
asking you to participate in their project or in their,
And you're like,
in their creative vision, and you say, well, I don't really think that I want to do that.
That's what they do at the games.
Yes.
He lives, he dies. That's
Whatever.
Nero. And then in the next position, we have the 3 of Pentacles, which I love because if you have a YouTube channel, this is the collab card.
Yeah,
So,
it's collaboration.
Getting together with your peers and finding a way to make it work. And it can even mean that you're being recognized. Someone is saying, wow, good job. You're doing a great job. And we're going to back
getting a job.
We're going to, yeah.
Or getting work.
Perhaps getting work.
Yeah, and remember this is September.
So you get bailed out.
Yeah, you might get bailed out. You might get an unexpected opportunity to apply your particular skill.
Your skill. And
And
it's a
be
compliment.
recognized.
Yes.
And be recognized for that, the application of that.
Because it's a high compliment.
Right.
This card usually. It's the card of the craftsman.
It is. And so you will be surprised at an opportunity to engage your skills at something.
And then at the very end, we had another Pentacles card, which I love this reading. We have 2 Wands reversed in the open of the reading, and then 2 Pentacles at the end of the reading.
Yes.
And this is the 5 of Pentacles. I call it the Bag Lady card. This is the card that comes up when
Fear
of not having enough.
privation.
Yes.
Fear of privation.
So maybe you're a little worried
Or
about
privation.
moving. Yeah.
Or not having what you need, what you feel you need.
Right, which goes right back to that 4 of Wands reversed. Because if you're not feeling grounded and settled at home, if you're trying to put down roots and you can't quite do it, there may be this feeling of privation.
Right. Privation of something. But you see, there's a positiveness to all the cards, really. And the positive aspect of this card is about you being absolutely practical and not frivolous and just applying yourself and getting whatever needs to be done, you get it done. And you don't waste a lot of time in self pity.
Well, the funny other thing about this card is whenever this comes up, it's like, it's the I can't afford it card.
Right.
I can't, there's a lot of I can't afford it, but it's okay because sometimes we can afford it.
Well, and if you can't afford it, then don't afford it.
Yeah.
Don't go on credit because you want something and you don't have you need to distinguish between your wants and your needs.
But
What do you really need in life? We
But
really
it looks like
need very
Scorpio
little.
knows that. because of this reading.
Yes, I think at the end of the
Scorpios-
month you kind of pull through, and I like to encapsulate the card by a little phrase that sort of speaks to it, and that is when it gets tough, the tough get going.
Mm-hmm.
So you get going and you toughen up, and at the end of the month you sort of like get the job done.
Yeah. Well, no one really likes hearing you can't have what you want.
Nobody, no.
So that is sort of apparent at
Yeah.
the end of the month.
Yeah, especially in this culture.
It's okay.
Where unfortunately we sit in front of a television and we
Yeah.
see what we imagine everybody has,
Yeah.
and then we want that, and then we feel bad because we don't possess all that,
Right, exactly.
and which is stupid because we may in fact be overfed,
right.
overnourished,
Overindulged.
overindulged,
Yes.
and yet we're sitting there feeling that we're deprived of something.
Exactly.
So it's a matter of perspective.
So that was September.
Set.
So I am going to tell our little Scorpio friends going into October what we do here at Virtual Tarot.
Please do while I check the cards.
Okay. So what do we do here? We do a 4-card spread for
Yes.
every Scorpio in the universe,
The omniverse.
the multiverse,
The omniverse.
the omniverse, and and their pets. So, are we reading
right.
for pets?
No, not this month.
Not this month. Okay. That was last Halloween, wasn't it? Or was it?
Was it 2 years ago?
Oh, it was 2 years ago. Yes, we read
Yes.
for pets. That was a raging success.
Raging. I don't think you got it.
You guys didn't understand
It was tongue in cheek.
Yeah, and it
We
is.
didn't really mean it.
Yeah.
We were just having fun. But
So it is
people
October.
people take their pets seriously,
Yeah, they do.
which they ought to.
Yeah. So it is October. We're going to read for you. So the first card represents the overall environment of the month of October. The second card represents
The challenge, the obstacle, the conundrum, and the third.
represents the unexpected. I forgot. You're the first reading of the 12th. Okay, go ahead.
All right,
And then
and
the fourth is
the outcome.
There you go.
All right.
Okay, so Ava is shuffling the cards.
I am, as you can see.
Yes, everything
None of this is staged.
Yes. So we're going to throw some
All right.
magic fairy dust
Fairy dust.
on these cards.
And fairy dust to you out there. Fairy dust. We're ready?
You ready? Okay, here we
So
go.
cut 3 times. Ta-da!
There go the oracles.
Here goes the oracles.
Yes.
They used to leave them jewelry.
Oh, that's a good idea. You guys should do that.
Yes. They did.
It's better than a goat.
I love goats.
Yeah, I don't really want you guys dropping
I love
goats off.
goats.
Don't drop any goats
Send
off.
us a few goats, not too many.
Yeah. We'll have to do a goat thing, where you donate a goat to a family. We could do that at Christmas.
It used to be. That's why they invented money.
Yeah.
So that we wouldn't have to exchange goats for cows.
That's true.
Yeah,
You could send us money. How about that?
Send us money instead of goats.
Okay, so in the first position, are you ready?
I can hardly wait.
In the position, okay, this is for Scorpio. We have a Scorpio here on set.
Yay!
The Queen of Cups.
Yay!
So
Oh.
we have a lot of happy Scorpios around.
That's one of the most beautiful. She's the queen of the heart.
Yeah.
She's the queen of love. She's the queen of the deep emotional aspects of life. She nourishes. She cares for people. She's in love with life, and life loves her as well.
She's also intuitive.
Yes, and it's
She's the most intuitive of all the queens. So
But what is underestimated about the Queen of Cups is that she's not all fluff and just mercurial
right.
imaginings. She is one of the most in charge people there is.
Because she's in charge of her emotions.
She's
the most
able
difficult
to
thing,
manage her
yeah.
emotions. Therefore, everyone can come to her for
Mm-hmm.
guidance, and she is the greatest orchestrator. She's a problem solver.
Yeah.
and she will solve the problem for herself and for others. And she suddenly everything is in order.
Yeah, and also a great listener.
Yes,
Listening is very important,
Yes.
girls.
Of course it is. It's for everyone.
So especially
everyone.
this month.
So she listens. People cry on her shoulder because she listens. And she truly empathizes. So there's a lot of that going on. But beyond that, because we've come out of such a tough month at the end there, you see, what this means is that there are solutions.
Well, you're back.
You're back.
Yes.
And you reign.
And you're living in your natural space. This
Right.
is who you are.
Right.
So this is easy for you.
And peace and harmony return.
yeah, in the upright. She's a fabulous queen.
So let's move on.
Let's move on and see what's going on. Okay.
Excellent.
So in the next position we
Challenge.
have the 10 of Wands. And this
What's your
is in the
challenge?
position of challenge. And so you're going to have to take everything that you've done and you're going to have to probably very much on your own bring it to completion. Whatever your project is, if this is a home issue, if this is a move based on last month, if this is you trying to get the family unit together, you're kind of, it looks as if you are the one to carry the weight of the situation or whatever is going on. You're a bit
Absolutely.
challenged with that. And I love to call this card also the card of the martyr. So there's a little bit of that going on too, even though you're willing and very able to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders this month.
Yeah, but it is that. Your challenge is to bear the weight of what it is that you have been assigned by your destiny. And to do it without necessarily even knowing how far away the finish line is. What is wonderful about it is that it's immediately in front of you because it's the 10.
Right.
You don't have a long way to carry this burden, but you don't know that.
But at this point, yeah, it may seem as if it's endless.
Yeah, it may seem endless, and it may seem it's breaking your back.
Yeah.
In a sense.
You might need to go to a massage.
Yeah, well, literally
club.
it might be, but it's a psychological thing. But also, it could be that there are several things on your plate that you have to deal with simultaneously.
Could be a work situation, even that you have so many projects going on at the same time that you're just you're staying late at the office, and
but remember, you've got the Queen of Cups as the overall energy of the month, so you're able to manage all this.
Yeah,
quite
without being overly dramatic.
Without being overly dramatic. Look at that.
Oh my gosh, you guys are lucky this month.
We have a Major Arcana card, the best card of the entire Major Arcana, which is the World upright.
Yes.
You're reborn.
It's a beautiful, beautiful card. We love. Now, if you're learning how to read tarot with us, this is the last card in the Major Arcana. Okay, we start with Fool, we end with the World, and so unexpectedly, wherever you are moving toward, or whatever you're moving toward, you are going to get there.
Yeah, you don't expect it. You can see that because he's got they've got the 10 of Wands here as their challenge, which indicates that that finish line is not far away.
No.
But it still doesn't take the weight of everything off your shoulders to have that situation be as it is.
It reminds me of, have you ever seen anybody run with like a big backpack on their back?
Yeah.
You know, like the military guys,
Yeah.
when they run, they've got all this weight on their back. It's very much like this.
Yes.
You know, you do cross that finish line, but you've got this huge thing on your back. So it's a little harder.
So you bring that project to completion, you bring something to a conclusion, and what happens? A new world opens up for you. There's a new world that a new dynamic, a new paradigm, a new set of circumstances, and you're you are renewed as well.
So your efforts pay off.
Your efforts pay off, and you don't expect it to, which is the beauty of where this has landed for you this month. Because when the world comes here unexpected, there's no more joy than having something like that occur when you weren't anticipating it.
Yeah, it's always a surprise anyway.
It
when
could
you
be a
enter
trip.
the next phase.
It could be a trip.
It could be a trip.
It could be travel.
It could
It could be an unexpected voyage of some sort.
It could be a new phase in a relationship.
It could be a new phase in a relationship.
Yeah.
But there are very few cards that are as positive.
Or a promotion even.
Yes. You go into a new set of circumstances, but having concluded everything behind you. And usually when you graduate is a good example
It's
of
matriculation.
this. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes we will actually play the pomp and circumstance when this card comes up.
Oh, yeah. All right. That's a good
It is
idea.
rebirth, definitely. And at the end we have, and you guys can comment and tell Ava how much you love her, the 9 of Cups, which is the
Ta-da!
wish fulfillment card. Wish fulfilled.
Your wish is fulfilled. Yes, definitely with the world and the 9 of Cups at the end. It's a wish fulfillment. It's being very content, satisfied, emotionally fulfilled, gluttonous, in fact.
Yeah, you can't get enough.
You can't get enough of whatever
the
it
good
is
stuff is.
that you like particularly.
Right.
There's a sense of gluttony, over celebration.
But there's also this beautiful queen right up front.
Yes.
Who has been working extremely hard
Yes.
and taking on the weight of the world, or actually probably, taking responsibility for others.
Absolutely.
So this is a good payoff.
Yes, it is. It is.
Well deserved.
And seeing that one's efforts have had emotional rewards, not for only yourself, but for others as well. There's a certain amount of smugness.
Yeah, a little bit. It's funny. This is October. Okay, so this reading is for sort of the month of Halloween, okay?
Well, it's a harvest month.
It is a harvest month.
And this
That's
is a harvest
right.
kind of card.
It is a harvest reading.
Yes.
This is harvest as well.
This is harvest as well.
Yeah.
And so is this actually.
Yeah,
Because
the world.
everything here is about bringing home the crop, whatever it is you've been growing, you are now able to manifest. And so it's celebratory. There's celebration, there's happiness, there's
It's an interesting. The 9 of Cups.
social.
Is
You're
kind of
pretty social at the end of the month.
Right. Well, it can be accolades, even emotional accolades, where people your loved ones are appreciating you for
And it's
the help
sharing.
that you have. Yeah, because there's a lot of
Because of what you've sacrificed.
you're being noticed, recognized.
Yes. And so, oh my goodness. Scorpio, you needed this.
Yes, this is
From
excellent.
how it's been going. It's October that, from my memory, if my memory serves me well, this is the best reading you've had for the
Yes.
whole year.
It is. Because previously we were getting a lot of Empress cards that were reversed.
Right.
And just, I think we had some, do we have a devil?
Yes,
some
we
devil
had
stuff going
devil.
on.
We had. All I remember is that cumulatively, it was hard on them. There was always a sense of carrying, shouldering all the responsibility for things.
Right,
You see,
right.
and so this is a lifting of that.
Right. Yeah, and if the last month you were feeling a little, or this month I should say, September, feeling a little under the weather and lacking energy, this month you actually are feeling like a newborn babe, because that's what this world card is all about.
Don't drink too much.
Babe.
Because I think that sometimes at the end of an accomplishment and end of a tremendous effort,
Yeah.
there is this feeling of wanting to just let loose.
Yeah.
And that's what it is at the end of it. You just sort of let loose.
Yeah.
And you bring in all the people who have contributed to your well-being, and you celebrate with them.
Mm-hmm. That's okay.
Yeah.
Don't eat too much candy.
Yeah.
We do have a fifth card.
Yes.
If you are interested.
Is that there?
It's right here.
Oh, it is.
You can touch it.
Oh.
Okay, so if you would like higher spiritual counsel on this 4-card spread, we have a fifth card. We call it the counsel card. And you can subscribe for $4.95.
Yes.
Yeah, you get every month all the way back to last October. I think it's a whole year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can sit there for years listening.
Yeah, I'll never get bored.
But
And you can listen on your mobile device as well.
it's a nice thing to do because it gives a sort of a deeper spiritual insight into the 4-card spread, as well as additional counsel on top of that from the major arcana.
That's right.
And so it's a very interesting way to juxtapose these two readings and glean from that even a more direction, internal direction.
Exactly. So we have a lot of viewers who subscribe.
Yeah, we do.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, a lot of viewers
We
subscribe.
all honestly appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes. Shoo, thanks for that. We are still working on the Psychic Network. Hopefully it's up in a week. That's the hope.
We're hoping.
Yes. And if you would like a private and personal reading
Oh, yes.
from Ava or myself, please go to
Oh,
Ava
virtual-
Trudy,
What is it?
virtualtarot.com.
It's been so long since I've been there. Yeah, AvaTrudyVirtualTarot.com, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Go there. You can
Go
just
there,
click the
please.
link below. If you want to subscribe to the council card, you can also click the link below.
Yeah, just down there.
And anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you, Scorpio.
Okay.